Hello! Welcome back to Higurashi When I Cry, Chapter 1. This is Part 2. Let's get into it. I took it a little too easy on the morning of my day off. I was totally late. Today was the day Rena and Mion were going to show me around Hinamizawa. Rena and Mion were already waiting at the meeting place. Aww. Kei-chan, you're late! Sorry. The show I was watching last night was really interesting. Blame that. Oh, so that's your excuse for being late and keeping two girls waiting. Mi-chan, you just got here yourself. What? Last night's episode of A Day in the Life of was interesting, wasn't it? She was just as guilty as me. Rena was carrying a pretty heavy-looking handbag. What is that? Mion answered my unspoken question with a wink. That's right, Rena really did make a picnic. Aww. Kei-chan, after you left, Rena pulled out all the stops. It's not like I forced her to do it. It was nothing, so don't worry about it, okay? She's been like this ever since last night, you know. Can you take responsibility for this? Alright. I'm a man after all. I'll take responsibility. Huh? Responsibility? For what? For what? As we both turned around slowly and looked at Rena, our gazes drifted downwards to the massive handbag she was carrying. It didn't seem logically feasible that it would be entirely filled with lunchboxes. Except that this was Rena we're talking about here. About 2 kilos, I guess? When Rena was picking it up, I could see she was struggling a bit. I say 5. You're exaggerating. Keiichi-kun is a boy after all. I thought he'd probably eat a lot, so I made a lot, okay? Yeah. Let's keep going. Heave-ho! Just from the way she was lifting it up, I couldn't believe the only things in there were lunchboxes. Correction, I say 5 kilos too. I'll help out, but all of it needs to be eaten. I won't forgive you if you make Rena sad, got it? The only thing I could do at this moment was exercise a bit and make myself hungrier. Having finished with the pleasantries, we began our leisurely stroll. A carefree walk bathed in the gentle morning sunlight. I couldn't have imagined something so wholesome existing during my time in the city. These were the boonies after all. No slovenly desk jockeys trudging to work on the weekends out here. It really was a nice place, peaceful and quiet. As sparsely populated as the village was, you could still run into people just by walking around. Ah, good day. Good day. Oh, would you be Maibara-kun, I believe? My 2 companions exaggerated exchanged greetings with everybody we ran across. All of these passerbys even knew my name. When did I become this famous? We passed 3 people, and when all 3 of them knew me, I started to feel a bit paranoid. It's a bit sad to say. Everyone knows everyone here since there are so few people in the Hinamizawa. So that means when an unfamiliar face walks by, they automatically assume that it's this Maibara fella who just moved in here. Yeah, that's how it works out. Oh. It was a process of elimination you could only pull off in a place like this, but it was quite effective. From now on, I'd better make sure to maintain a good reputation. The only day I discovered accidentally gawking at dirty magazines in the bookstore, I can expect all the villagers labeling me as a leech by the next day. Hinamizawa is not to be trifled with. That's not the end of this nightmare. Of course I know them. The first people we met, this old Takezo from the Minako bike shop. His hobbies are bonsai and playing the flute. The next we meet the grocer's second son, Daisuke-kun. His hobbies are sharpshooting and he hopes to be an ace sniper in the future. And the person we just met is Mio-san, the nurse from the clinic. Mio. Her hobbies are bird watching and photography. You know the names of everyone we pass by. And even their profiles? Seeing my surprise, Mion and Rena exchange looks and burst into laughter. Well, yeah. We're not like the city where people hardly know their neighbors. Then let's try this out. You there, who am I? You're Keiichi Maibara. You say some mean things, but you're actually a kind and shy person. It's been 3 weeks since you transferred here. Your hobby is taking afternoon naps. Lately, you've switched over to wearing boxers. Whoa, why would you know that? Didn't you? That's enough! Boxers? Enough of that. Apparently, there is absolutely nothing you can keep hidden here. Hinamizawa is not a place to be trifled with. This feels more like you guys are showing me off rather than showing me around. That's right. We're prattling around like this after all. Parading, sorry. Don't you think so too? That Kei-chan is fitting right here in Hinamizawa. The population in Hinamizawa is shrinking, so the villagers become anybody who's new here welcome. I thought about brushing it off with something to the effect of, "You're kidding me," but I held back. Have I ever greeted someone who just moved into the city like this before? Thinking about it made me believe what they said wasn't a joke at all. We passed another person. Of course, we were called out again the same time, the same way. Oh my, good day. It's wonderful seeing you getting along. This lady here is Fujishima-san. Good day. Oh my Maibara-kun. How wonderful for you having a lovely girl on each arm. How are you? Getting used to life here? Instead of regurgitating a prepared response like I would have in the city, I responded with an empathetic nod. The old woman chuckled, voicing her appreciation of how energetic I was. Good. As I looked back over to Rena and Mion, they gave me a wink. So now then, how about time to have lunch? Maybe. Rena's brilliant smile signaled the approach of an event that both Mion and I were trying to forget. We both looked at each other. I'm a man, I'll do what I can, but it's just too much. It's fine, Kei-chan. Leave it to this old man. Mion has never seemed as reliable as she does right now. I expect no less from the class representative. Rena, if we're gonna eat, we might as well go somewhere with a good view. Wow, yes! Good idea, I agree. Rena nodded her head happily in response to Mion's proposal. Crossing the top of the stone stairway, a shrine drawn straight out of my imagination appeared before us. It had worn down a bit through the years, but the fallen leaves had been swept up, giving it a tidy feeling. This here is the Furude Shrine. It's probably the place with the best view around. This place, be sure to remember it. On our next break, a festival will be held here. Isn't it a bit too early in the season for a festival? The Watanagashi isn't a summer festival. Long ago, it used to be a celebration of the end of winter. I was embarrassed for assuming that festivals had to be held in the summer. Now then, spread out the lunchboxes, and there, various colored lunchboxes were placed one after another on top of the plastic sheet. It sure did smell delicious. It was Rena's home cooking. It went without saying that would be delicious. But is it even possible to finish all of this? Hey, Mion, it'll take more than just a good view to get all this down, you know. Uh, Good afternoon. It was Rika and Satoko. Why are they here? Mion grinned over at me. I see, this was their secret plan to power in numbers. You have my thanks, Mion. Following it up with all pieces were in place is my specialty. We just had to come since there was such commotion. What's the meaning of this? Take a look. It's time for lunch. Buffet style. A handmade gourmet meal by Rena. I can see that much. Why do you have it laid out on a tarp on our property? The temple is public grounds, it's not yours. Keiichi is right. This is everyone's property. Wow, Rika-chan is such a good girl. Have a seat. Eat with us. After opening up a spot for Rika, I promptly turned my back on Satoko. Hold on 1 second. Where's my spot? No spot for you and nothing for you to eat. Don't worry, there's some for you too. None, I'll eat all of hers. I will not allow that, Rika. Oh. Here, chopsticks. Both Satoko and I leapt at the boxes, having it out with each other. Man, really, Kei-chan? You're really good at leading people on. You might have a talent for this. Have a plate, one for me-chan and Rika-chan, too. Rena whipped out a pair of chopsticks and paper plates. If we don't hurry, it'll all get eaten up. That's right, okay? Shall we commence this battle? Please, eat a lot. There's enough for everybody. Rena said as she opened up a thermos. Just then, I realized that this lunch was made under the assumption that 5 people would be eating. It didn't change how much there was, but the implication behind it was different. I would not allow you to have this hamburger. Herc, using your elbows against the roast, Satoko. Grabbing the back of my collar also is against the rules. It was a tough battle, blocking her with full momentum and the elbow to the opening moves. Satoko appeared to have the upper hand, but the difference in our proficiency with chopsticks proved to be fatal and gave me the upper hand. The last meatball! Satoko Hojo has been bested. Nom. Satoko and I ambitly began choking at the same time, falling backwards and spasming. Rika-chan patted me on the head to clear it, even though it's actually stuck in my throat. Seeing that made Rena blush and breathe heavy in excitement. It was almost like flowers were floating all around her. Mion advised Rena to refrain from saying anything that could be used to lock her up. This is how our meals usually go. I'd do anything in my power, just so things could stay like this. The intense battle calmed, and finally everyone reached a point where they could... Hold on. The intense battle calmed, and finally everyone reached a point where they could begin talking. Receiving tea from the thermos, I let out a small sigh. I do wonder why there's so few words in Japanese to praise how something tastes. Isn't it because the idea of togetherness during a meal didn't begin until the modern era? It seems that long ago people ate in silence. It must have made people preparing their food feel a bit sad, don't you think? It's probably because back then the people were busy while eating and didn't have time to compliment the flavor. it's just you. But, you know, just hearing that it's good makes me happy. That my effort was worth it, I mean. She blushed a little as she said that. It was delicious. With absolute perfect timing, Rika-chan snuck Rina directly with praise. She looked straight at her with an expression of bewitched innocence. After Rina uttered an unintelligible noise, a ring of smoke rose from her head with an audible poof. Ow! Rika-chan, I'm gonna take you home. No, I mean, thank you. It was really delicious. Rina flushed red with excitement, embracing Rika-chan and rubbed her cheek against her so so hard you could almost hear it. Ooh. To reward Rika-chan for her praise, ta-da! These are special. 2 apple rabbits. After sticking toothpicks into them, she thrust them towards Rika-chan. After Rika-chan accepted them, the mood suddenly shifted in a bizarre way. What is it, Satoko? What's with that defiant look? Has everyone prepared proper praise to receive apples from Rina-chan? San, don't push yourself. What kind of praise do you think you could think of with your weak vocab? Well then, allow me to show you. After Satoko flashes me and gives me a defiant look, she changes the tone of her voice suddenly. Hey, so Rina, One-chan's lunch. Sadako thought it was yummy too. Sadako looked up at her with poutly. Sadako looked up at her proudly while talking cutesy. How was that praise? That's not even persuasion by tears. That's persuasion by cuteness, isn't it? This was Rina's limited edition special. She blushed and her head spun, waving around in circles. Don't fall for it, Rina. Aw, how? Of course. That was asking the impossible for Rina. Satoko began rubbing her cheek against her. Cute! Satoko is so cute! Take you home, how? Swish. Stab. Push. Satoko was also presented with apple rabbits. After stuffing them into her mouth, she looked over at me and me again with a defiant gaze. It took only 5 seconds to take down Rina. That's unfair, to think she had such a trick. If it upsets you that much, why not reward Rina with some praise? Damn it! That was a dirty trick. First of all, that wasn't even praise. Satoko, you think you've won with that, don't you? How about I show you guys something much better than your superficial gimmicks? That sounds great, Mion. What kind of trick is it? Kei-chan is going to be the one who does it. What? Why don't I have you show me then? The writing of an old maid. The writhing of an old maid. The plan of attack she suggested was wicked, but it was the only thing she had to beat Satoko. After sipping my tea, I started talking very naturally and calmly. Perfectly. It's really good, isn't it? This is all freshly made, right? No. Actually, most of it was frozen stuff. Then, which ones did you make fresh? Well, it's embarrassing. Do I really have to say? Must I? From the synergy of boys plus handmade lunchboxes, her expression had melted into euphoria. I already know. This one, right? turned an even deeper shade of red, the words "I can't believe it" practically written on her face. How can you tell? that I made it. Of course, Mion had told me beforehand. It'd been perfect. It'd been perfect so far. After acting like I was shy, I waited a beat. Next would be the finisher. It had your smell. Silence enveloped the area. Mina's face, still completely red, frozen solid. With a small yelp, Sadako also blushed. Of course I did too. I sure would like to try one of Rena's homemade apple rabbits. Or something. Even if all this was because I was competing against Sadako, I felt like I had crossed the line by a good 9 yards, I think. Then at that moment, whoosh! It was a Tupperware container filled with rabbits. Please eat some, Keiichi-kun! There's plenty for you! Instantly, dozens of apples were shoved into my mouth, knocking me over. Okay, say, Keiichi-kun. My head was forcibly laid upon her lap. Even more apples were shoved in my mouth. While she was squeezing one apple, another was forced into my mouth. More and more apples. How about them apples, Sadako? Look who wins. Kei-chan, that was a beautiful sacrifice. How's that, Satoko? This is our complete victory, isn't it? I can't believe it. Such trickery. It doesn't bother me at all. Satoko ground her teeth, mortified. We did it! I claimed my victory as my consciousness drifted slowly away from me. At that time, Rena stopped squealing as she suddenly realized something. Rika-chan, you're not eating it? Did the salt water make it too strong, maybe? I looked over. Rika-chan had pulled a toothpick out of the apple and placed it in her cupped hands and seemed to be at a loss for what to do. Poor Mr. Rabbit. I feel sorry for him. I want to save him. Whee! That was the sound of noseblood squirting from Rena's nose. Cute! Did that apple take you home? She shook sporadically, her head wobbling back and forth. Then, coming back to her senses, she took all of the apples around me, gathered them up in a flip, and fixed them back on the plate. Now they're all just fine. Okay, here, I'll give them to you, Rika-chan. Okay? Rika-chan raised up Sadako's hand like the referee after having a plate of rabbit shoved at her. She whispered, "This is our victory." What? A comeback? Heist on you, hair. I don't care anymore. This was my sacrifice that ended up being in vain. What? It was a fun-filled, crazy day. But as soon as the sun began to set, the end of the day really did come quickly. Later, Rena-chan, Kei-chan, see you tomorrow. Thanks for today, Mion. I had a great time. See you tomorrow. Satoko and Rika-chan went home as well. They parted ways with Mion, and it ended up just being Rena and myself enjoying the evening air on our way home. Thanks for coming with us today, Keiichi-kun. Was it fun? Yeah. Lots of fun. Almost feels like a waste to go home now. Then, well, would you mind taking a little detour, maybe? A detour? Is it far? It's a bit of a walk, but it won't take long. Since we had been walking around all day, I must have seemed a bit tired. Not feeling like teasing Rena, I nodded. I quietly nodded. Traversing a small path up a hill, the land suddenly stretched out before us. There, what looked like remains of a dilapidated construction site came to view. A large heap of garbage spread out off towards the swamp. Probably illegal dumping. I recall it being in the newspaper. It's been quite a while. I wonder what's here. When you say it's been a while, you mean the business you had here was with this garbage pile? It's not garbage. To me, it's a pile of treasure. Rena had already entered that well-known cute mode of hers, so that meant there was something cute here, right? Whoa, a new pile. I can't wait. She bounded up the unstable slope. I'd expected no less from a born and bred country girl. Hey, wait, I'm coming. Whoa. My city-raised self was completely pitiful. It's alright, just stay there, Keiichi-kun. It won't take long. Rena kindly declined my accompaniment. Don't fall. Watch your step. I'm fine. This is nothing at all. Literally bounding up the heap of trash, Rena disappeared over the other side. I don't like being left behind, but I was still pretty tired from the whole day, so I just ended up waiting. Without the lively Rena around, the surrounding area quickly fell into silence. The cry of the Higurashi gently cooled the air. Fairly exhausted, I began to feel a little sleepy. Just then, a sudden noise of scattered pebbles alerted me to somebody's presence. I missed it. Just then, the sudden noise of scattering pebbles alerted me to somebody's presence. Startled, I turned around. Standing there was a typical looking photographer. He spied over me through his camera. It's not creepy. His body was tanned and fit, but something about him seemed unreliable, and he had a bit of an aloof air about him. Well, it didn't seem like he was a bad guy in any case. Whoa, he surprised me. Although startled when I turned around, he overplayed his reaction. That was my line. I'm the one who's surprised here. My bad. I didn't mean to startle you. Are you from Hinamizawa? I gathered that he wasn't from that question. Unfazed by my suspicious outlook, he introduced himself without my prompting. I'm Tomitake, freelance photographer. I come to Hinamizawa from time to time. I didn't ask you who you were. Quite rude to photograph someone without consent, don't you think? One would think. My bad. I mainly photograph wild birds. They can't refuse, you see. So, what you're saying is, I'm the same as the birds? No, well, you see, that image of a young man in the twilight was just picturesque. I apologize for trying to take your picture without asking. Adults are pretty sick. It's like... all that annoyance I felt after being startled flew away as he buttered me up. I had no intention of hanging around with this guy trying to get cozy with me, except it didn't seem like Rena would be back soon. But this older guy, Tomitake-san, he didn't mind my cautious response and continued rambling on by himself. Keiichi-kun, sorry to keep you waiting. I'm finished now. Rena popped her head out of one of the lower piles of garbage and waved her hand. You have someone with you? What would she be doing over there? That's what I wanted to know. Don't know. Maybe she's checking on that dismembered corpse that was out here long ago. Tomitake-san looked shaken up for a moment. Uh-oh. I responded like I would if I were talking with Rena and the others. It was quite a disturbing incident. They still haven't found one of the arms. Eh. Keiichi-kun, sorry to keep you. You were waiting for a while, I guess. I'd best leave you two lovebirds alone. Again, my apologies for startling you, Keiichi-kun. Tomitake-san courted suggestively and then disappeared into the twilight. Missing my chance to retort put me off a bit. Keiichi-kun, are you angry? Why? I wonder. It wasn't Rena's fault, so I decided to just brush it off for now. How was it? Find a treasure trove? Oh, yes, so listen. You see, there was a Colonel Sanders doll. A Colonel Sanders doll? Oh, that thing, those statues that are always out in front of that fried chicken place? That life-size dummy? Yes, Colonel Sanders. How cute. I want to take it home. I couldn't tell how she decides what's cute or not. Well, she does seem to want it. It's garbage, right? No one would care if you just take it home, right? It's become the base of another pile. I can't dig it out easily. There's no lamppost over there, so it'll get dark pretty soon. Rena seemed quite down about finding a treasure and not being able to bring it back. I'll help you out. To repay you for the delicious picnic you prepared today. Oh, thank you. Birds headed home to roost proclaimed the nightfall would soon be upon us. Keiichi-kun is going to help. I can take Colonel Sanders home. How? Rena staggered along as if intoxicated in her dreamy state of mind. I tried asking her in a way that wouldn't take her out of her cheery state. Hey, Rena. Long ago, did something happen here? Seems like they're building a dam here. I don't know the details though. How? Just wondering if you knew about it, you know? An accident or something? I don't know. Her tone was disturbingly frank. It sounded more like a denial than an answer. I must have appeared rather dumbstruck. Rena quickly lightened her expression. Actually, I didn't live here until a year ago. Huh? You transferred here too? I was sure that. So you see, I don't really know much from before that. Sorry. Don't really know, don't want to talk about it. That was the kind of feeling she gave me. Thinking about it, of course, it would be like that. This wasn't the type of things girls would enjoy talking about. It was quite a disturbing incident. It seems they haven't been able to find one of the arms. It was just like Tomitake said. Tomitake. Then I had a feeling only the Higurashi would know. You have received new tips. My Bar Mansion Dam Site Murder Dismemberment Newspaper Edition. So, Kei-chan, you're not stinking rich? What is this all of a sudden? Did I come to school in limbo before? How much do you get for monthly allowance? About $10. My, that's a rather plebeian amount. His lunch is made up of normal stuff. He isn't rich. What are they talking about? To be asked out of nowhere how much I made and then told it was a plebeian amount. Sorry. Rena seemed to pick up on my dubious expression and started giggling. Kei-chan, your house, you know, it's pretty big, yeah? So the architecture has people all around Hinamizawa calling it the Maibara Manor, and sort of stands out. Maibara Manor? Since the house is so big, everyone's gossiping, wondering exactly how rich you are. I see. Now I get it. Well, the frame of it is huge. I see how it could cause some misunderstanding. From my deduction, I wager they spent too much money on building the house, and that's why they are now broke. Being broke, how very, very unfortunate. Rika-chan took pity on me as she patted my head. I go from being treated like a millionaire to a beggar. Yeah, sorry for you ruining your imagination, but we aren't millionaires or poor. We're the image of a normal, average household. You can't call it normal with that huge house. The entranceway is all grand, the gate is large enough for a large truck to get through. That's not normal at all. They do say the bigger your house is, the more prosperous you are. The reason the house is so big is because of Dad's studio. There's a bunch of different workshops and lots of his works are hung in different places. All of them are huge too. For those reasons, the family actually uses only a third of the house for day-to-day living. He planned it out so people and cars could come and see the gallery he opens up in the house someday. By the way, the entrance Mion's talking about is the only one for the studio and is normally sealed off. The entranceway to the Maibara family actually uses a very plain and simple one. The interior is much different from how it looks on the outside. I'd really love a chance to explore Kei-chan's house. Claiming not to be rich but having a home like that. What could be hidden there? Maybe there's something cute inside. How? They probably have no money to purchase furniture, so it's filled with Spartan rooms. Ouch. If there are carpeted rooms, I would love to try rolling around on the floor. Oh, that'd be great. So great. I want to roll around too. It seems like their imaginations are just piling on. Well, sometime in the near future, it wouldn't be bad to invite them all to my house. Dad is a sucker for the ladies, so he might even let them walk around his studio. The carved Higurashi crested into the sky, towering over everything. It was hot, but the air was still clear. It smelled like the beginning of summer. Summer smells. From July XX 1979 edition. I'm sorry, that's June. Yeah. Okay, I better. The Shishibune City, Okinomiya Police Station, June something 10th, late at night. Suspects were arrested on suspicion of murder and improper disposal of a corpse. The main offender has been added to the wanted list nationwide. According to our sources, the 6 suspects were at Hinamizawa Dam construction site in the room on the blank at 9 p.m., where they are suspected to have assaulted and murdered the site as a group, dismembered his body, and hiding it. On the 18th at 8 o'clock in the morning, a report was filed at the Shishibune City Hospital in which a male suspect alluded to having murdered Mr. When questioned at the police station, the individual confessed to the crime. Since a portion of the body was recovered at the location he gave, he was arrested that afternoon on the suspicion of murder and mutilation of a corpse. The rest of the suspects were arrested at the same day, but the main culprit is still at large. Police are currently on his trail. The motive is purported to be a drunken verbal dispute during which he killed the victim in a fit of anger. However, there are multiple inconsistencies with their testimonies. The investigation is ongoing. Well, that's creepy. Well, that's the end of part 2. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for joining me on yet another trip into Hinamizawa.